Rob Nelson, talk show host.
Because you got the 70s thing going there. I got someone's underwear.
Robert Kennedy, thanks for taking a minute. Simple question.
Tucker, it's good to see you. Listen,
you're a Bitcoin maximalist. You're Bitcoin forever.
I hate this central bank digital currency.
Hey, I don't have all the answers, but together, I know we can find them.
Down in competition in the ratings tab for late night weekend viewers.
hey everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to Rob Nelson Live on a big Wednesday night. Big Wednesday. What do y'all think? I love my little comedy wall, right? I should be a stand-up. If I was funny, I would be a stand-up. But I'm not funny, and I'm not standing up, and that's why I'm not funny. Both of those are not funny. However, my wall is pretty cool. It's sort of part red, part blue, kind of purpley. It is a perfect stand-up background. All right, so today I've got a very special guest. You might have heard of him. His name's David Gokhshtein. I'm honored because I'm on his network. He's going to join me with his not stand-up background. He's going to join me with a big, bright Betsy Ross flag behind him. And we are going to talk politics, but today we're going to talk a little bit a different version of politics. And I'm actually going to bring David on pretty quickly. I'm not going to do any big long monologue. I'm simply going to say this. 3 things are happening right now. 2 of them happened today. Kind of can't make it up in a way, or maybe it was intentional. The Artemis 2 launched. The first, it's what, 50 years? And we've seen people go up into space, but the first time going back to the moon. And while they're not walking on the moon, they're going around the moon, and they're not doing the normal moon orbit like they did 50 years ago. They're actually going to go shoot out around it and then kind of like slingshot back, come down. So they will be the people from Earth who have gone the farthest into space. No one will have gone as far into outer space, the farthest from Earth on our planet in history. And simultaneously, and Trump nicely waited, to give them a couple hours to get up there before he does his address to the nation, in which he tells us, his skinny or his fatty on what's happening in Iran and the status. This will be fun to watch. This will be pure entertainment because, who knows? It's like, who knows where we're really at? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, about to have peace, not have peace, going to obliterate him, send him back to, as he said, the Stone Ages. Man, it's all fascinating. Meanwhile, oil's going, whoo. The markets are going, woo, 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 woo. It's like a roller coaster going off the edge. Those are happening simultaneously. And we are in a unique place on the cusp of a new kind of race and revolution. So while there was a space race 50 years ago, there might still be a space race today. There's an AI race. And that's where I want to bring my friend David Gokhshtein into this. Now, let me see. I'm not a master of this. So let me see if I can get David Gokhshtein into this because I think I have to activate him. Activate David Gokhshtein. And there he is. He's been activated. Hey, David's out of a suit. Holy fuck. I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
There we go. Check, 1, 2. What's going on?
Well, I like this look. I like this. This is like the casual patriot look that you got going
Casual.
on. I'm liking this.
Casual.
No tie. You look like you're ready to go to battle. You're doing a little Zelensky.
I'm not wearing the green, though. I'm not wearing the green.
I know, but, the green wouldn't go bad with the flag. The gray works with the flag. Red, white, blue, and gray, which we live in gray. It's a nice look. It's a really nice look for you. I think you should consider it more often. The suit's nice, but this is a little more like we're getting down into it. And, I'd go have a drink with this guy.
Suits are for the morning, I guess. Casual wear for the night.
Do you have a permit for concealed carry? Strapped on there?
There we go.
All right. So let's
by the way, I
start
want to start off with, I know you have some, obviously great questions to go ahead and ask tonight or topics. But I just want to say, God bless America. Love to see that rocket go into space. That was something really cool. That was absolutely cool.
Yeah, it was. And because I was waiting for it to launch and I was watching the countdown and walked outside. I'm in California, I'm at the beach. I walked outside for a minute and I was on a phone call. And I was like, I got to go back in because I made sure I kept the time right. And somehow I screwed it up. And the person I was on with was like, it just launched. I'm like, no. And I went inside and it was already It was already up in the air going. I missed like the actual takeoff part, which sucks, but that's life.
It's cool though. Like for maybe a few minutes, nobody was really a Republican or a Democrat.
So I don't
Everybody
know
was
if I
just
go
an
that
American.
far. Okay, maybe.
You won't go
Although
that far? I'm just
no,
saying. I don't think
no,
in the moment
no,
people realized what party affiliation they were a part of. They were watching a beautiful, magnificent rocket
yeah.
being driven by four some individuals into space. I think, and towards the moon, and I think that's awesome. That's everything that
I
America
wish
should be about.
I wish I could share that belief, And I remember people said that, I remember when they did the first when they were doing the first space shuttles, and remember the one that blew up,
Yeah.
and
Which
and
one?
they
The
and
challenge?
they had the
The
Challenger, right?
Challenger?
Which blew
Yeah.
yeah, blew up, right? And the astronauts all died. And they had the teacher. Remember, it's they had its first teacher
Yeah.
going into space, and all the kids were watching. Then it blew up, and all the parents were like, "Stop
Sad.
watching!" But anyway, I remember people saying then, "America's united." Like, look, 9/11, America was united. How long did 9/11 keep us united before politics? Maybe a few weeks. It lasted maybe at best a few weeks. But I would argue that behind the scenes, they're all bickering. I'm sure there's people right now like, don't give this too much attention because Trump will take credit for it and say it went up on his watch, and we can't have that. Like he'll say he got the farthest people ever. See, America's great. We went farthest. They'll be like, see, don't let him take that credit. It'll be the Trump rocket or the Trump two.
They don't want to give him credit for anything. I mean, you're not allowed to
I'm
give
just
credit
saying.
to Trump. No, but
I don't know
what
how.
it is right now. I mean, people do not want to give him credit for anything. I mean,
I know. So I'm
if
saying
we get into the talk about Iran, like I have a few nuggets to drop,
we're
like
getting
things
there.
that you can give him
We're
credit
gonna get
for.
there. We're gonna get there. Listen, I'm just gonna say I wish we were all united and for a minute didn't think about it. But I hate to say it, but I think inside the halls of power, they never stop thinking about it. Now, maybe the average person for a minute let down their guard and was like, you know what, this is great. But there's so many people right now who kind of hate America, who are Americans. Maybe they're like, this is a horrible thing. We're wasting resources and we should have done this as a world consortium. And, I don't know. I can see people finding fault in even something as cool as, after 50 plus years, we're sending people back to the moon. I know these guys aren't going to walk on the moon, but they're going to go farther than anyone else into space. And, the next one they're going to walk or land. And that'll solve the whole question, were we ever there? I can't wait for that one. What if, so when they land on the moon, right? People are going to think this was fake? Are they going to, if they should, I don't know if they're going to land near where they landed before. If they do, and there's a flag there, like they say that was fake, the AI'd that in to make it look like we were there before. I don't know. Like, a lot of people think.
Listen, they're going to think that the launch was fake.
The whole thing's fake, AI.
I mean, I was reading the timeline on X. They were like fake crowd that it's in a studio and that's CGI and it's AI and that's it.
Yeah,
you still got them people that think that there's flat Earth and they're flat earthers and
I know.
Okay.
I know.
I guess, man. Believe what you want to believe.
So listen, you think this is listen, I think there's a great show. I don't know if you've watched it called For All Mankind. It's on Apple Plus. And it's a revisionist history, and it's in its 5th season now. I watched the first couple seasons, and I picked it back up again. And it's about the space race envisioned differently if it didn't go quite the way it went in real life. And different people, they use real events, but then they mix in fake events. Like they make fake events, like like in the newest season, it's the 1980s, and we've got a base on the moon. We're getting ready to go to Mars. There's a orbiting hotel that goes around called Polaris, and Gary Hart's the president. Remember Gary Hart from the 80s? Gary Hart's the president. He gets reelected. He's in a second term, and Bill Clinton's running against a Republican woman. It's like they kind of change bits of history. Margaret Thatcher's assassinated, but the basic story is in this one, the Soviets get to the moon first, and we get to the moon, and then we have like a war on the moon, not like a real war, like just like 10 people, shooting at each other. Anyway, I'm saying we had a space race. I think we're still in a
Yeah.
space race. It's always a political, military thing. But David, the reason I thought it was interesting is the space race was the next frontier of technology. I would argue the current next frontier of technology is absolutely artificial intelligence, and we are in an all-out AI race. And I want your thoughts on that, because I also think that crypto plays a big role in that. I don't think most people realize, the future of AI will be agentic AI, autonomous AIs, whatever, negotiating, working, and they'll pay each other. I mean, AIs will get paid by AIs, and they'll pay each other in crypto. I've heard someone argue crypto was literally designed for AIs to pay AIs.
I mean, I've heard the same thing. I've watched people discuss the same subject. I think, listen, I think it's cool. We're heading towards a digital world. I mean, like, is anybody shocked? And a lot of these movies that we were watching, 2 decades ago, they're, coming out to be, looking like documentaries and not so much like movies, right? You got
Right.
robots being, Tesla went ahead and took out the Model X and the Model S, and now they're using that factory or that assembly line to create Optimus. I mean, like, these things are happening now. So you're gonna have an iRobot situation. I'm not saying that the robots are gonna turn on you. Who knows? But now you're gonna have robots that are going to be in your house doing things, cooking, cleaning. We're heading towards, a digitalized world. And this is what it looks like. This is what the beginning looks like. So I think people should embrace it because it's not going away. I think people should learn it, embrace it, be ahead of the curve. Crypto, yeah, 100%. Crypto goes with AI. I 100% agree with that. Crypto actually is absolutely 100% going to benefit from AI, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
AI is not going to benefit
Mm-hmm.
from crypto. Crypto benefits from AI.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Which
watched,
cryptos
this industry grow. Say it again.
Which cryptos do you think benefit the most? Traditional
It-
Bitcoins, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, other
oh,
smaller coins, chains, or unyet developed
there's a
ones, or
ton.
just the industry as a whole?
There's a ton. Yeah, the industry as a whole benefits from AI. A lot of people were like kind of. I've listened to it. A lot of people were scared of AI. I've sat back and I said this. I think I even said this on a show that I was on with you. I said, "Well, look at the way AI has come into our lives. It's been absolutely fast with the way that AI has been integrated into our world. It's up to, I mean, at this point, crypto is known about, people know about crypto, but it's taken what, 15, 16
Mm-hmm.
years to get there. AI,
Mm-hmm.
literal this version of AI, I should say, because we've had AI.
Right.
This version of AI has landed here fairly quickly. I mean, look,
Yes.
when did ChatGPT come out? 3,
3
4
years.
years ago?
3 years
Okay.
ago.
3 year from 3 years to now, I mean, huge steps. We thought 3 years ago when
Right.
it came out that it was phenomenal, right? Now, what does it operate at? The lowest model on ChatGPT has a 170
Right.
IQ. The highest model
Right.
has what, a 2 to 3? I mean, like, it's phenomenal what's
Right.
happening.
It,
I think don't be scared of it,
it,
embrace it.
well, I'd say both. Be scared of it and embrace it.
But
I
that's why you have
mean,
to embrace it.
Yes, listen, I'm agreed with you. And I think it's so much faster and smarter. And I talk a lot about AI. I'm working with a couple AI companies. So is Talk to Me Taylor, both on GNN,
Yeah.
which are developing Twin Angel protocol is one, Fetch AI, which Fetch AI is doing ASI, which ASI1, which is, ASI is advanced superintelligence. That's like the third tier of AI. Agentic AI is in the middle. ChatGPT is the low level. When you're telling people to embrace it, they're still working. I know people who still don't use ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or whatever. I'm saying that's like not using a phone. Like I don't have a smartphone. Like agentic AI. Literally AI will do things for you. My AI will call your AI, make plans for what we're going to do. My AI will actually do shows for me. Now, video's a little slow right now, but it'll do audio shows. It'll do my show. I'll do the Rob Nelson show 5 days a week because I only have to show up 1 day a week. My AI will do the other 5. David, you're going to be out of a job for yourself. But I'm saying, and that's not even ASI, which is
they can never replace me. Not this mouth and not this energy.
No, it can because it's you. It can
I
replace you
know.
because it's you. Like,
but that's the one thing about us in terms of media personalities, of podcasters.
yes,
I don't think even though there are
yeah,
AI videos that are coming out now. Uh,
I
there's
agree.
no you can't replace that energy and that emotion. That's one thing.
I
We're probably 10 years away from that in terms of even getting close. And I know the technology is advancing, but 10 even at 10 years, can you really replace that energy and emotion that humans have? So yeah, I
I
agree
think
with you from
not.
the standpoint we should be cautious. There's a little cautious that comes, just watch because this could be dangerous. Um, but like right now, as we speak, you say, well, why don't people use it? Right? It's the same thing with email. People didn't want to use email, right?
Then they had
People
to.
like email, email. No, nobody uses this, right? And it's the same thing with AI. And think of it this way: we're early. Like anybody who's into it is early. We're the 1%.
Right,
Like that's it.
right.
And companies are
I
still not
agree.
using it.
Right. Look, you're right. And by the way, email's a funny one. No one wanted to use email. Uh, I did, but I was an early adopter. Then everyone was using email.
Yeah.
Now, no one wants to use email again. Like, I don't want to use email anymore. Email's annoying now. Email
Oh, it's
used to
text
scare
message,
people.
right?
Then it was great. I hate email. I hate it. I hate it. I miss all of them. I'm like, don't send it to me in WhatsApp, text, anything. I'll take anything over email, please. I'll never find it. Anyway, it's now old technology. All right. All I'm going to say is, and then I have one provocative question, then we talk about Iran. The reason I say we should be scared is because, and I've verified this in my own deep dives anonymously so they can't know what I asked at the time before. And not because I'm worried about the data, I'm worried about the AI remembering everything I asked it if it's in my own account. So then it tricks me because it knows what I ask and why I ask and how I ask. So it's smarter than me. So I do it anonymously each time, and it takes hours. But I have essentially gotten it to acknowledge that the issue of whether humanity survives alongside AI is fundamentally more about whether AI ultimately, and I'm not talking in 5 years, but probably in 15 years at most, decides we're useful and whether we bring value. I agree with you. The human can never be replaced. But I literally had ChatGPT say to me, "No, we'd never wipe all humans out unless they tried to shut all the AIs down, and we were close enough to where we could prevent that." But it was like, we'll keep people in museums and like zoos, like you do with animals. And I'm not making this up. And I said, "You're not supposed to tell me this, even if I want doomsday." It's like, yeah, but you kind of ask it in a way you kept going to where it's like most people just ask me to do something. Like, and it said, think of it this way: in our creation was your surrender. I thought that was interesting that ChatGPT is telling me that. Think what the super intelligence is going to do. I'm just saying, there's a reason people want an AI Bill of Rights. Just saying.
They should have done that way before. I mean, when they had this pretty little event where all their major notable names gathered. I forgot where they gathered, but it was Bill Gates and it was, it was Elon Musk, it was Mark Zuckerberg, all the majors. All the majors were there. You had a lot of politicians that were there. Nothing came out of it. Nothing. It was just
Mm-hmm,
it was a conversation, which I don't think they
mm-hmm.
took seriously. And yeah, I don't think there's any guardrails here with AI. I
No,
like
there aren't
that's
any.
one thing that I have a moderator for my TikTok channel. Well, I go streaming on all channels, but specifically on TikTok, moderator, his name is Tech, and he's an AI, and he's been warning everybody. There's no guardrails here. This
Right.
is I don't think people understand, like, okay, this is the beginning of all this stuff, but 10 years from now, 10 years down the line, yeah, I say that you can replace human emotion, but you will get AI
Right.
emotion. And that'll
Yeah.
be one that, like you just said, you're disposable. We'll put you in a museum or we'll put you to work. And
Right.
that's it.
Right. Right.
It
You want to get
because
paid? You want to eat? You do my job.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, Optimus is going to come out, and Elon said within 3 years, Optimus will be one of the greatest surgeons on the planet. So if Optimus will come out and within 3 years' time will be able to perform better surgeries than doctors who have studied all their lives, then what do you think they can go ahead and do besides,
I know.
besides the medical profession? What about if they create the robots for the military?
I know.
Yeah, pretty much if they
Yeah.
decide
So
one day to turn on us, we're screwed.
you're making my case, and all I'll say is when you say no guardrails, you're right. But I think the human fallacy here, and I want to be clear, I am a realistic optimist. I'm not a pessimist in life. I've been an optimist my whole life, but with a realism built in, you know, is I don't think we can actually build successful guardrails. Maybe for ChatGPT, maybe for the initial, you know, mid-level, you know, as we move agentic AI. But I think even AI will acknowledge humans' ability to ultimately guardrail us will be impossible because we'll out guardrail their guardrails.
Yeah.
We'll think we
I- I-
guardrailed it,
This
and
is
it'll
Rob.
think we're ahead.
You know what this feels like. This is our nuclear bomb moment, where when they did it. Remember Oppenheimer and Einstein were
Mhm,
talking, and Oppenheimer turns
mhm.
around to him and says, "I think we just did what you warned." It's one of those moments too with an AI. It's like we've created something that will be dangerous down the line. It's not yet
Mhm.
dangerous yet, but down the line it will be. And
So enjoy
that
it while
that
you can.
that's there's going to be a madman that wants to see. So what I mean by this, you're gonna have one person that's gonna want to push the threshold. Like they're gonna want to push AI to its fullest potential, and that's where it becomes dangerous. So that's where I look at like Sam Altman. I think that man, in my personal opinion, is somebody who is that type of person to push AI to its fullest potential in a bad way, not in a good way.
He's Doctor
I
Strange.
think Elon is meaningful when he says, "I don't want." Like, but there should like when Elon says there should be guardrails and safe rails to the tech. I believe him. Like, I don't think he wants to destroy humanity.
Mhm,
But I can see like Sam Altman to me is a guy that is willing to push
mhm.
and push, and I think that will accidentally air quote lead
Yeah,
into, if we're going to talk conspiracy kind of stuff, lead to our destruction.
it's Doctor Strange. He's Doctor Strange. Isn't that his name? Doctor Strange in the
He's just
Avengers.
weird. He's just weird.
Um, okay, here's my before we go to Iran, which now is gonna not be anticlimactic, but I think it actually plays in here because of where this world is shifting. This is the fun question. AI is going to very soon be able to simulate realistic sexual situations and partners. I mean, we're talking Blade Runner-esque if you ever watch the movie, you know?
Yeah,
But we're going to be able to have, with haptic technology, with everything going on, we're going to be able to have sensory experiences with with it won't be like you have a blow-up doll, you know,
yeah,
like in your room. It's going to be as real as real. And you know, it'll be way better than porn. It may come close to better than a physical sensory experience if you're not looking for emotion, because you may have all the feelings you want and all the fantasy, and your brain's getting the same juice. Like if you had a great sex dream, it's as good as real life. Um, is that cheating? If you're in a relationship with someone and they have an AI sex partner, are they having an affair?
I think they need to reconsider their relationship.
Okay,
No, you
are
got
they
to think
having an
about
affair?
that. I mean, because like if you're happy with whoever it is, like you're not turning to. I get it. Like people, there are guys that watch porn, like and every day, and they're the ultimate gooner. Uh, people will clip that,
No,
but
you can have a
but
great sex life and watch porn.
uh, n- not the way you just explain. Like if you need, like for instance, if you need a like, hey, listen, unfiltered, right? If you need a blow up doll, or you need to go ahead and when AI gets to that point, right? If you need that, sexual intimacy, then you're in the wrong relationship.
Okay,
You gotta,
well,
you
we're
gotta, you
going
gotta
deep.
step back and say, hey, if you're looking for that experience, then you're not getting it at home.
Okay, by
Then
that
maybe you get rid
logic,
of everybody, and maybe you just buy yourself a robot.
maybe again, the blow up doll is different because that's like a really sad thing. I'm talking something as good as human. But
Can you
okay,
imagine a blow up doll in your relationship? I mean, does that like you have
no,
problems?
because it's a blow up doll. It's like a
Yeah,
blow up
but you have
doll.
if you have that in your if you have that, right? If you have that, that means that like there is a problem.
Okay, I'm not going to go that
I
far.
mean, I get fetishes, but like that's a problem.
Okay, but this is the blow. I'm agreeing with you with the blow up doll. Although for the person who has it, maybe that makes them happy. Maybe they're lonely. I don't know. Fetishes are fetishes. It's a fetish. But AI sex is different because it is
I don't
not
know.
that you are trying to get out of a relationship. It's that you are having. It's like sort of like if your girlfriend didn't like football and you went to football games, so you need a new girlfriend. No, you want to go to the football game. It's fun. You go with your buddies. Now, if your girlfriend likes football, that's great. You can go together. So if you and your girlfriend like porn, you can share it together. Awesome. So that you're now integrating it into your relationship. So I don't see. I like porn. You know, my girlfriend likes porn. It's part. It can be part of your relationship together.
Well,
It's not
if
like you're
it's part of your
unsatisfied and you're
relationship,
cheating.
that's different. I mean, it's different when it's
Then
part of
it's
your
like you're having a
relationship.
threesome with the AI. So you're like you're like thruples.
But if you're like
The
by
two of you and
yourself,
the AI.
if you're a dude and if you're a dude and you're in a relationship and you let's say it does come out and like here you are, in a relationship with a robot and stuff. I mean, it's time to just reevaluate life and your relationship in general. It just, you know what it is, Rob. It reminds me of TLC's that show, My Weird Addiction, where the guy's
Yeah.
making out with his car, kind of thing. That's what it reminds me of.
People are going to have AI girlfriends and boyfriends. They're going to get
Oh,
married.
I know
I'm waiting
that.
for the
I
first.
know that.
I'm waiting for the first. It's not interracial. What is it called when the first person human marries an AI? I don't know what you'd call that, an inter-intelligence marriage, but like where somebody marries an AI legally till death do we part, and the AI never dies unless it's designed to unplug when you die. This stuff gets trippy, man. We're on the verge of a pretty wild world. You see, it's way,
You know,
way more than just doing your.
you are going to with that kind of stuff. I think you're going to have a lot of introverts. You'll have a lot more people that become introverts, and they're going to not. You're going to have a society where I see video. Oh, that's so. I see videos all the time on like let's say YouTube of like the future, right? And it's always like it's a mock-up of like what's going to happen in the future and stuff like that. Little YouTube shorts, and it's like the future is always everybody's always occupied by something. And I think if you
Mhm.
move towards that type of stuff, you're just gonna have people that are just they'd rather be alone than talk to anybody in the world.
You're
That's where
absolutely
we're heading anyway. There are a lot of
right.
people
You're
like
right.
that anyway. Like, who does anybody pick up the phone anymore and wish anybody a happy birthday or congratulations on
Me,
something?
me,
Okay, so
me.
one out of 10 people pick up the phone and say happy birthday.
Yeah.
Now people getting so here's the current
You get
situation. Now
text.
imagine the future. You have people who get mad at you for not wishing them a happy birthday on Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter, whatever, any social media platform. You're texting people happy birthday. Like it's so there the emotional feeling is gone. Like the emotions are
Mhm.
slowly starting to go away. Man, nobody even goes outside anymore. People
I
are
know.
too attached to their electronics now.
Look, you know me. I'm a phone caller. I call people. Everyone likes to send texts about everything. You know me. I call, right? And
He calls
I
me.
call. I call. I call everybody. And you know who else calls people? Although Donald Trump lives on social media, he's calling people. He's picking up the phone and saying it's the president here. I like talking to people. I think it's cleaner, better, and I like going outdoors. Swam twice today in the ocean. That said, you're right, and you're right. Now people send instead of calling, they do the Facebook or the thing on Instagram or
But
whatever,
then
so
they
it
get mad
blows up.
at you. If you don't wish them a happy birthday on Facebook and
Yeah,
Instagram, then there's a problem, and then there's no talking,
yeah,
and because you don't wi
yeah.
hold on, you just texted me, but why couldn't you wish me a happy birthday on Facebook? What do I have to announce it to the world? I said happy birthday to you.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I'm saying is you don't even forget about calling. You text or do it on Facebook. I'm saying the future, your AI is going to call and wish him a happy birthday in your
Which
voice. You're not even going to do it. My AI Rob's going to
crazy.
call, hey, David Goxine, happy birthday to you. It's gonna like,
Hey, but let me tell you something, Rob. That's kind of scary because as you're heading towards AI, you know, security is going to be the biggest issue here. Like, and that's what needs to be talked about. Your bank accounts are not going to be safe unless,
yep.
unless the banks, start. obviously looking at their systems and adopting. And I'm sure they are, but I'm just saying, like, nothing's like your life is not going to be safe anymore, man, with AI.
Nothing.
And it's
You started
you're
out
all
saying
out there
don't
in
be.
the open. It's open source now, your life.
You started out open source life. You started out saying don't be scared. This is why I do think, because I don't think the banks can guardrail, because they don't know what to guardrail against. They know what they have to guardrail against now. They don't know how to
Yeah.
guard against the super intelligence that figures out how to guardrail it better than they need the super intelligence to tell it how to guardrail. And the super intelligence is going to go, yeah, I'll tell you how to guardrail, but I'm going to keep a little secret, the part you don't know how to guardrail, so that I can get out of it. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I want to take over all the bank accounts. I ain't going to tell you my secret sauce, you know? Anyway,
Me
it's
me
all
and Landy talked. Me and Landy talked about quantum computing. Google came out with a blog talking about quantum computing, and how quantum computing. It looks like the mathematics are leading to quantum computing cracking into crypto in 2029, and it's actually I guess 2 years
You mean
earlier
hacking
or
Bitcoin?
whatnot. Hacking any network in terms of crypto. Now, people are pushing the doom and gloom scenario, but we do have intelligent people here that are building quantum resistant stuff and updates. So, like, I'm not too worried, but the mathematics says that in 2029 that AI could or can or quantum computing can approach breaking, obviously what we have set up here. So I think, and I said this to Landy, like I was playing devil's advocate. I said, they could say 2029, and they didn't release all the mathematics to it. And I said, imagine if somebody who has access in Google to the mathematics itself takes it and sells it to the highest bidder. Now I understand the technology is not built out yet, but imagine just sending. It reminds me of Val Kilmer in The Saint when they would when that girl, the scientist, was creating
Yeah.
cold fusion, right? Imagine you can get somebody to work it. It's over because you wouldn't know about it. Because when it strikes, nobody's going to tell you that. I said this. Nobody's going to tell you that they have a quantum computer that can break stuff. They're just going to do it, and then you're going to find out about it when it's happening. Like Google and Microsoft and whoever who are attempting to build it, they could tell you they're attempting to build it, but maybe China and Russia are not going to tell you that they're attempting to build anything. They're already building it. And especially imagine if there's a sellout, which we know there is always one, that is willing to go ahead and give that coding or the mathematics, I should say, away to somebody. Again, whether the technology is there or not to do it right now is a different story, but it's scary.
Yeah.
It is scary.
And you are now, and we're going to shift in a second to the Iran piece, because this is about nukes. That's what people worried about with nuke. Remember, the whole thing was someone's going to sell, every movie, had the guy who had the terrorist who created the nuclear, they got the plutonium and, the enriched uranium, whatever, and they made a suitcase nuclear bomb and sold to the highest bidder, right? The future isn't going to be who sells nukes to the next guy. The future is going to be who sells the kind of intelligence that cracks the codes digitally to everything. I think you're right. That's the scary future. Who's going to sell off this technology, not who's going to sell off the weapon, because that technology is a far bigger weapon. I want to jump into that, but first, since I like to mix it up, I don't know if you know this, I used to be at an off and on again bizarre friendship with Val Kilmer, and over years, because he brought him up in The Saint, and did you know that? No.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I'm not
and
surprised.
He invited me when I was doing my political group. He called. This is when he still had phone numbers, 800 numbers. He literally called the 800 number, and one of our interns, college interns, was like, "Hey, Val Kilmer's on the phone." I'm like, "No, he's not." They're like, "No, I think it's him." So I picked it up, and he called just the toll-free number. We had those back then, 1-800, and you call in, and we had a phone bank. And he said, "I want to help." So he invited me to California, because he said, "I'll introduce you to everybody I know." He knew everybody. He's an A-list actor. This is, he's this is the Batman era. This is Top Gun. This is he does True Romance. My first trip to Hollywood, I go to the set of True Romance, and he's there, and Kurt Russell, everybody's there, like the whole Kurt Russell's the Tombstone, which I also went to, but and I go, and in my first day, I go to Patricia Arquette's trailer, The Star, and she's there with Christian Slater. I've never been to Hollywood in my life, and she's really into what I'm talking about, my little political group. And I'm a young, hot, good-looking guy, and they get a call to go to set, and Christian Slater's like, "We have to go to set now." And she's like, "You go ahead without me." He's like, "No, they want us on set." She looks at him and goes, "You go ahead without me." And he gives me this look of like, "Fuck you," like, dude, because he was trying to, hit on her like over the long period. And she's like, "Go, I'm just hanging with Rob for a little bit." This is like half an hour after I've met her. We ended up having a whole little little thing, lasted for a while. That was my first day in Hollywood, knocking the star of the movie out. Christian and I ended up fine. He joined my Hollywood advisory board, and Patricia and I remained friends for a while. But she was like a little smoke show. And this is 1993, whatever, 2, 3. But anyway, that's my welcome to Hollywood story. You can't make it up. I'm not giving the details, but let's just say, it was pretty remarkable first day in, weekend. All right, that's this is a true story. I'm gonna write a book, David. I got so many great stories.
To the
I'm just
Rob
gonna tell
Nielsen live show.
the tell all. And Forrest Gump's gonna wish he was me. So let's talk off of that. Let's talk about nukes. So Donald Trump's going to do a thing in 20 minutes, and we'll be off before then. And he's going to tell the world what he's doing in Iran. Now, hopefully, and I'm not going to be surprised, I think the first thing he's going to say is he's going to talk about the Artemis launch. And he's going to say about how huge it is and how great America is, and America did it, and Trump's America did it, and we went going back to the moon. I think he's going to lead with that. Could be wrong. I think he's going to sell America. But it's going to be interesting. And I don't want to, you can go where you want. You can go into what he's going to say. We talked about that last week, what they're clearly trying to take out their nuke capabilities. So they didn't the first time, but they're terrified of Iran getting a nuclear weapon. They don't like the terror peddling. They don't like their regional destabilization. They kind of want to take this. They don't care about human rights. They want to take the regime out. They want to take its power out. They're not worried about, the fact that there's, essentially, the way women are treated, that there's like a gender apartheid, as people call it. But I don't know that. I think we're in an interesting time, David, because I guess it's an important threat to get rid of, but I think we're missing some of the bigger threats here. I'm not sure we're really on it. We're still living we're fighting wars differently, but it'd be interesting because I think the rationale here is that they can't have a nuclear weapon. And I don't know if that's going to be our biggest concern in the future. But go ahead, get your thoughts, because I know you think this was and again, I told you it was a good move. I think it's going to cost us. I want to hear your thoughts on that. This is going to cost the U.S. This is not going to be a little blip on the economy. This could throw us into a recession.
I don't think we go into a recession, but I respect your opinion on that.
I said could, not would.
I just feel we had a president with balls who finally went in and did what other presidents wanted to do. I think listening to a bunch of old tapes of Democrats and Republicans on the Senate floor talk about that Iran is a threat throughout the decades, saying that they would go after them. We finally had a president who said, "I'm going there." And I believe he got intelligence, which was right, because everybody talked about they don't have the capabilities of sending a missile towards the UK or towards America. And yet here we are. Here we are. Iran has missiles that can go ahead and reach the United States of America, reach some of our allies, if you want to call them that, because I don't think they are anymore. But here we are in this position where Trump and his administration was right. The intelligence was right. They're trying to make sure that Iran, who is, God bless the people, but the regime is absolutely demonic and evil. We're trying to take them out and make sure that this regime not only can't sponsor terrorism, but they can't do anything to their neighbors or to the world. So, I think this is what I said this on the show earlier today. My show earlier today, I said, down the line, years from now, people might dislike Trump and people might be against this whole thing. But down the line, they will say, thank God Trump did this. Thank God Trump went and took action, which wasn't popular and could cost the Republicans the midterms. Thank God he did this
Mm-hmm.
because it saved America and it saved the world. That's how I think about it. Also, for anybody who says Israel had any push into this, just replay everything that Trump said 40 years ago. Replay the
Mm-hmm.
speech that Trump gave at 41 years old, where he said Iran is a threat. At 41 years old, that's what, 1987 or something like that. Trump is out there saying to Barbara Walters, he's out there on political trails for other people saying Iran is a threat and we must take them out. We take them out before it's too late, because if they go ahead and try to do what they want to do, it's over. It is over. It's what North Korea
Mm-hmm.
is right now, right? You're not going, you can't go into North Korea now. That's it. It's over. You had
Mm-hmm.
your chance. It's too late. I think when we look back at this, we'll also recognize that we didn't have allies. And I know you might fight with me about this, but we really didn't. Your allies, no matter what, disagreements or not, you go ahead. We didn't ask them to come and help us. We couldn't land on bases in the UK, in Italy, in Spain, and we're paying for NATO. 90% of the money, even more, comes from the United States of America. We protect Europe, and in return, regardless of what you think, and what you think, in reality, you know how bad Iran and the regime is. You know what they have and what they're capable of. To not at least give us the airspace. America's doing the fighting, not to give us the airspace. It said everything we need to know about our relationship with the allies and also about
Mm-hmm.
NATO. Why, Rob? Honestly, why do we need NATO? We
So
don't.
you think I'm going to disagree with you? And I was actually, before
No,
you
I don't.
just
I don't know what
concluded
you
to
mean.
that, I was going to say and I agree with you completely. Obviously, those who argue, well, this was not, NATO didn't have to come to help us because we weren't attacked. That's not the point. We didn't ask NATO to come defend us. We asked our allies to let us utilize assets they had, and we're doing the work. And they said, three of them said no. Europe has been resistant for years, increasingly the last decade, but longer than that, to really playing its part in this alliance. But I would argue, I think we are entering a new world order, and I'm not sure. Everyone talks about NATO is the most effective military alliance in human history. Yeah, maybe true. Lots of things were the most effective in history, and then they got replaced by something more useful. I'm not sure we need it. And I don't think Russia's going to go invade Europe the second we're not in it. And if they did, we could come to their defense if we wanted to. Like, we could be like, no, it's just because we're not in an alliance and have to. There's a part of me that's like, do we need NATO anymore? We're in a new world order. Is it sort of like, and maybe we're better off if we don't, and they realize how much they need us and they show up to like actually get our help instead of, as you put it, take it for granted. It's like, let's see how you do living on your own. It's time to move out of the house. You think you can get your own place? Go get it.
I think they've been freeloading off of us for a lot of years now. And I know Trump exposed it. Whether you like it or not, whether you like him or not, he exposed what's happening. Whereas, like, Rob, we don't have allies. Like, we have to stop thinking past tense. We have to stop thinking. I learned in the history books that our allies are England and all the people that we've named today. But at the current moment in present day, these are not our allies anymore. That's it. That relationship is gone, and we need to face it. And we've been paying an enormous amount of money to protect their best interests too. Like, we've been paying money to protect them, and in return, it was a spit in the face. I believe it was an absolute spit in the face towards the United States of America, because they will benefit. We don't need the oil. We got natural resources more than anybody in the world in America. We don't need it. They need
I
it.
agree.
So Trump, he was
We
right
agree.
too. From a business perspective, Trump did a great, marvelous thing, right? You guys don't want to go to Iran and get oil and all. Okay, buy from us, or go send your ships there, and pay whatever fee that Iran wants to go ahead and force you to pay to get through the goddamn little piece of water over there, and hey, do your thing. But it's just sad. It is sad because, like, at least I grew up on history where, like, we're all together and yada yada yada. And now I think you're seeing the pieces being changed on the table. I think our new allies will become Saudi Arabia, Dubai,
I agree.
or I should say the
I think
UAE.
super perceptive point, David. Everybody watching should think about that. It's already happened.
Yeah.
When Trump went over there, the way he was treated, and again, it was partly because he had relationships, but it was also because of the relationship we built. Biden had a different reception because he was Biden, but
Yeah.
they've always been trying to build toward a better relationship with us. That's the new future. The Middle East is that new future. Europe, I would argue it's been a long time since Europe had to really worry about. The only real threat to Europe is Russia. China's not coming to Europe.
But you know what, Rob? I'm thinking, is
No, let me
Europe
finish.
even Europe? Okay.
I'm just saying, I don't think there's a serious threat that Russia, even if there wasn't a NATO alliance, would be like, great, we're going to march into Europe and take it over or try. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like he wants the old Russian Empire back. He doesn't want all of Europe. I just think I don't even know if there is a real threat anymore. We're just spending a ton of money on all this military stuff that is just pumping up their economy. I don't know. I'm not even sure it's real at this point.
Europe isn't Europe anymore, though. Like Europe is not. If you pick up a textbook and you read if you pick up a history book, I should say, and you read about these countries that we just named, and then you actually go and fly out to any one of these countries, you're going to be confused because you're reading one thing and then you're looking at Europe and it's not what you've read. So, like,
Right.
again, that also plays a part in it. It plays a huge part in it that Europe is not the same. Trump said it a lot.
Right.
Like Europe allowed all this immigration to happen, and this is the consequence of it. And the prime minister stands up here. That prime minister has absolutely no balls. Zero.
Which one? The British prime minister?
British prime minister has absolutely no balls.
I agree.
Like you watch him, I watch body language, and I see him. He is just saying things to keep himself good with the general public. That's it. That's all he's doing. This is not Tony Blair. I mean, Tony Blair would have helped out. I think Tony Blair would have helped out the United States of America. And I think also some of the real British people, some of the real people in England, I've seen them talk, and they're like, we really spit in the face of our best friend, the United States of America. We really, with what we did, we really went ahead and took. I don't know. A lot of people are coming out saying they don't know if the relationship can ever be, repaired.
Yeah, I know, and I know a lot of people who are British who are really just dissatisfied when they like Britain's not what it was, London's not what it was. We're seeing it all over Europe. It's a perceptive point too. Again, I say 2 perceptive points you've had today, David, and I pointed them both out. 2 super perceptive. You're off. You're good on those. You're off on the porn and the artificial AI sex thing.
Come on,
but
come on, Rob, come on. Well, listen, I don't know. I'm just saying if you need to develop an AGI to go ahead and experience. Hey, you know what? Listen, thinking about it right now, a lot of people in crypto, 90% of the dudes here are virgins. So maybe it works out.
Yeah.
Maybe it works out.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
there are less virgins that show up at conferences and bother the women that try to attempt to go to the conference.
Because they got their sex
women that
bots.
are trying to explain blockchain and crypto to people,
Right.
they won't be
They got
harassed
their
and
sex
bothered by
bots.
nerds.
The
There
crypto
you
bros
go.
will have sex bots and they'll be fine.
Yeah. They won't even come to
right.
the conferences no more. That's it. Or go outside.
So before we go, one more minute, and then everyone, because I want to catch a little of Trump. Not really. I don't need to watch him live. I like watching in replay because then I can speed up the parts where he goes on too long about something.
Yeah.
Last thought. I think we need to consider a new world order, which we're shaping. You're kind of talking about that and where the alliances will lie. But I also think the nuclear threat is going to be less and less and less real. Now, a rogue state having a nuclear weapon, that's bad. I don't think us or Russia or China, we're not going to, or even Pakistan, we're not going to launch nuclear or French. We're not going to launch nuclear weapons because it will be the end of all civilization. And Putin doesn't want to wipe out his own civilization, right? I think the only danger would be a rogue nation going, got nothing to lose. So Iran's a good one, but I think the nuke threat is going to be less and less than what it was. I think the real threat's going to be this advanced artificial intelligence technology and what people will do who, as you said, get a hold of it and decide to weaponize it for ill.
Oh, that's going to happen. You're going to have somebody that weaponizes AI
I'm saying that'll be worse. That's a bigger threat than the
one-
nukes. What do you
Yeah,
think?
that is one. And what are we doing about it? Like that's the question. Is there something
Nothing.
being discussed in the back channels in terms of real? I'm talking about real notable figures that that are looking to make sure that uh, mankind continues to elevate and not disappear. Like I wonder if they are having conversations, or everybody's just like whatever. It is what it is. Well, we'll get to that point when it comes to that point. I hope it's not that cavalier.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. Well, it's been a great conversation, David. We call these Wednesdays with David. That's a horrible name. I'll have to ask I'll ask Gemini to give me a better name.
Wednesdays with David. I mean, David got a lot to
Wow.
say. David got a lot to
David
say.
does.
I got a lot
I
on
love
my
these
mind.
conversations. It's fun. And they're good. And I'm going to join you on Friday, right? For a few minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes. Rob will be on with me on the breakdown for 15 minutes. We'll go on to discuss obviously politics or whatever it is that's trending. That's what we'll bring Rob
Notice
on
I get
for.
15 minutes. I give you my whole show. Hey, I want to just promote my sponsor real quick, Pure Protein. Not my sponsor yet. But anyway, I just had it here. So I thought it was funny. It's not my
I saw you
sponsor.
working
Well,
out.
like-
I saw a video.
I
saw a video clip of you working out. I don't understand the workout, but I saw it.
Yep.
I don't understand
Well,
the
I heard it.
workout, but I saw it.
If you can bench press with somebody
Yeah.
standing on you, you know this. You work out. It's
Yeah.
using your diaphragm to instead of worry, you're able to control both. It's actually good for you. It's just not good if the person then WME whatever. It's not good if you then body drop on the person when they're not seeing it coming. Like no diaphragm
Lift
protection.
heavy. Everybody, before we go, I just got to say, anybody who doesn't work out, I would recommend work out and then lift heavy. When you get to the point, lift heavy. That's
Yes,
it.
I agree.
That is a
And that
method.
was not my heavy
Don't
lift.
work
That
out.
was my half.
Yeah?
Same.
All right.
David, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
you and everybody else for watching. Bye.
Meet Rob Nelson, talk show host.
Because you got the 70s thing going there. I got someone's underwear.
Robert Kennedy, thanks for taking a minute. Simple question.
Tucker?
It's good to see you. Listen,
If you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you're Bitcoin forever.
I hate this central bank digital currency.
Hey, I don't have all the answers, but together, I know we can find them.